Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. This is the fourth video in a series on interviewing a dream character using an IDL online interviewing protocol. The first question addressed to the character you choose to interview is intended to support you in taking its perspective rather than your own. In this case, we are beginning to hear from Rope, the character from my nightmare that I chose to interview. Rope, where are you in this dream, and what are you doing? Rope responds, I am sturdy enough, made of interlaced fibers, and there are two of me. I am fastened somewhere inside the windows on the wall, and my other ends form nooses. I am strangling your parents to death. In dream sociometry, the IDL multiple character interviewing process, Rope is asked an entire series of questions about its preferences toward the character's actions and feelings in the dream, providing much more information and deepening empathy through the process of extended identification with the perspective of the Rope. Single character interviewing is meant to be relatively short, to encourage more interviewing and to teach basics of the interviewing process. For many dreams and life issues, single character interviewing, like the process you are learning here, provides more than enough information to satisfy all but hardcore dream researchers like myself. The next two questions deepen identification by asking the character to name its strengths and weaknesses. Rope, what are your strengths? What do you like most about yourself? Rope responds, I like that I am strong enough to do my job as a rope. Next question. Rope, what are your weaknesses? What do you dislike about yourself? Rope responds, well, I have no control over how I am used, and I really don't have preferences because I am a rope. I am also at least partially an aspect of you. That means that I do have awareness of human preferences, and I would prefer to be used for good rather than for persecution or destruction. Because you are the rope, and the rope is you, you do not answer with, the rope says, or it says. Instead, the character answers with I statements. The rope talks for itself. It is presenting its perspective, interpretations, and worldview, not your or yours. It says, I like that I am strong enough to do my job as a rope. Character identification is a skill set closely associated with the ability to empathize. IDL interviewing is itself an effective tool for developing the ability to empathize with others and alternative perspectives that differ from our own. The importance of this skill set for a happy life cannot be overestimated because it is only due to a lack of empathy that personal, corporate, and governmental abuse and exploitation can occur. This is one example of the extremely broad implications and ramifications of IDL interviewing. When we fully identify with the perspective of another, we don't simply acknowledge how we think they feel, which is something Bill Clinton did when he said, I feel your pain. Empathy doesn't exist until there is confirmation that the other is being heard and understood. It is not enough for me to tell you that I feel your pain. You have got to tell me that my understanding of your pain and why you feel it is correct. If I can't or won't do that, my claim of empathy is a superficial charade designed to validate my moral intention and convince you that I understand who you are when I have not demonstrated that I do understand, much less care. As another example, corporate CEOs, people in the military, and government officials are not stupid. They can both understand and relate to the pain they are inflicting on workers, opponents, and society. Do we want to call that empathy? I don't think so. Why not? because there is no respect for the essential humanity and worth of the other as equivalent to our own. In such cases, the belief that one is being empathetic is a mask for elitism and exceptionalism. Capitalism for you, socialism for me. Truth and goodness for me, ignorance and exploitation for you. What does that principle have to do with IDL interviewing? We practice the same sort of elitist prejudice when we assume that our dream characters, personifications of our life issues, and imaginal elements in general do not deserve the degree of respect and empathy we want others to show toward us. I am saying this to underline to you why it is important to lay down your assumptions, prejudices, and interpretations, and allow your chosen character to speak for itself during the interviewing process. To do so strengthens empathy in all areas of life. To not do so defeats the process and keeps us stuck in our own attitudes, beliefs, expectations, interpretations, and worldviews. Again, this is a rather novel idea for most people who find it absurd to treat the imaginary as worthy of respect. The process of IDL interviewing requires a rethinking of that assumption, something a lot of people resist doing. Recognize your desire to stay in control. Surrender it during the interview and just have fun. After the interview, you will pick up your normal sense of control over your life. Our next video in this series on the IDL dream interviewing protocol is personifications and possible transformations. Thanks for watching. See you next time.